Woody, it's Michael and Don. How are you doing today? Woody. Woody there?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
How tough was this for you to do today, Woody?
Extremely tough. You know, it's very, very tough. I have a lot of respect for both of these men, and so that made it very, very hard to do.
Now, from the outside looking in, and it's reported as fact, but we want to ask you that you really, really, really like Rex Ryan personally. If, in fact, that's the case, Woody, how tough was that conversation to have with him today?
It was very tough. Very, very tough. I have so much respect for both of them, for John and, for Rex. Especially, Rex has been here 6 years. So we've gone through a lot, as you guys know, together. And those first 2 years were amazing, and so we've had a lot of fun together.
Woody, there were reports that maybe you would keep Rex and then let the new general manager make the decision on Rex's future. Was that ever anything that crossed your mind?
Not really, because we did that once to Rex, and I'm not sure that's a great position to put a coach into.
Let me ask you this, Woody. I'm not saying it's the wrong move, but John Idzik's supposed to be very deliberate, wants to install his plan and do it in a deliberate, patient manner. 2 years? Do you think that was fair to give him just 2 years?
I don't know about the 2 years or not, whether it's fair or not. I just thought that overall, I thought it was a better move to start fresh right here and to do it this way. Whether it's right, we'll see. We'll find that out. Nothing against John.
So much was made about the money left under the cap. Was that John Idzik not wanting to spend that money? Was it both of you together wanting to be more patient with the money that was under the cap? What was the logic in such an important year, coming off an 8-8 year, wanting Rex to be able to keep his job, to leave that much money on the table?
Well, I mean, some of that was to be used for the signing of players, which we didn't sign, of our own players. But we had too much. I mean, when we went through free agency, I guess we didn't find the value that we thought was there. We didn't find the value for the dollar, and so he was good in that standpoint. But yeah, it didn't look good. Maybe that we had as much as we did and have done as poorly as we did this year.
Woody, you care about your fan base. We could see it every Sunday when you walk around the parking lot. You care about what they say. Did it matter to you? Did it impact you at all? The planes that were flying over your facility, fire John Idzik, did that get your attention?
Not really, no. I mean, I appreciate the fans, but no. I mean, the fans, 85% of the fans are true blue, long-term Jets fans, and they realize that it's very hard to win on Sunday. And, that we're doing everything we can. They might not agree with us, but they're not going to go to the extent of any of that. And so, no, that doesn't really represent the way the fans feel, in my opinion.
We've heard and we've speculated about John Idzik's patience. When you interviewed him and hired him, did he express, hey, I've got a plan, it's going to take a little while, I'm not an overly aggressive person? Did that patience come through in the interview? Was that something you felt about him?
Yeah, I'm not going to go, I'm going to start looking forward. All I have nothing negative to say about John or anybody, really. We're looking forward. Those gentlemen are part of our history now, and we're in the process now to move forward and replace them with people that hopefully will do a good job for us.
Woody, owning an NFL team, is it a harder gig than you thought it was going to be?
Not really. I knew it's very difficult because there's 32 clubs with equal money, and everybody's searching kind of for the same thing. So you have to be a little bit lucky. Take a look at the Miami game we just played. I mean, this is a team that played better than us this year, but we beat them in the last day again. Like, that's how close. Even, the Buccaneers and some of these other teams were very competitive, and they didn't win any games, but they're still competitive. So they say on any given Sunday, any team can win, and what you're looking for is that consistency. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we're going to be trying to do.
You've got a general manager and a head coach to go out and get, Woody. So since you've owned this team, every head coach you've had has been a defensive coach. Do you think in this offensive league that it may be important to look more on the offensive side of the ball? Is that something you're thinking about?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're thinking about it. We still have to get out of our division. So, you still have to play Brady twice a year as of now, and he says he's not going to retire, so I believe him. He's a great quarterback. So a good defense, I think, is important in that respect. But, yes, I mean, I think we certainly have to be a lot better on offense. We've got to be able to score points.
All right, speaking of that, there were reports that you did make a run at Jim Harbaugh. How much of a run was it?
Well, I really haven't commented too much on that. I'm going to comment on, as we move through these next few days, we'll be letting you guys know what we're doing and hopefully keeping you up to speed.
Now, we want to give you the opportunity here because you've done it already with the print media. When you had the press conference, you said something about Darrelle Revis, and you said you misspoke. Did you call up Robert Kraft to say, listen, I didn't mean to do that?
Exactly. Yeah, I did. It was something. It was a pressure-filled thing for me. And emotional with, and I certainly, didn't want to do anything that would have any negative effects on my partner Bob Kraft. So I'll leave it at that.
And was Robert receptive to what you had to say?
I'll just leave it at that. It was inadvertent, and there was no intent to do anything other than to say basically I had no problem with Revis. They were talking about Revis when Revis was originally traded, and I have no problem with Revis.
Charlie Casserly is somebody that you've leaned on, his expertise. Could he be a candidate for this GM job?
We're not going to speculate. We're in the process of going through all the candidates, and he's part of it with Ron. Ron Wolf is adding, a lot of insight, all his years in football, and being a great general manager of Green Bay.
Woody, do you obviously you want to take your time, but you want to get this done as well? Is there a timetable in your head? I want a GM and a coach by this day.
No, I mean we'll go through it, in a patient way, and the interviews are long, as you know, and so we give everybody a real good shot at expressing what their views are, both as head coach and general manager. So it's time consuming, but it's one that we're excited to be on this.
Before we let you go, and I know you're under the gun right now, your team is one of two teams that play on Broadway, Woody. Do you feel that you need to get a big name coach?
I think we want to get a coach that, a head coach that really is a manager, a leader. He's got to manage a large organization, 20 or so guys just on his staff. He's got to be good in the public, and there's a lot of things that a head coach has to do. But he has to find have good accountability with his players and his coaches, and find a way to win. Week in and week out, playing all these different styles and all these different teams in the NFL. So it's a large task, but an exciting one.
Do you think Rex is going to get another job right away?
I don't know. I would expect he would.
And if somebody called you, would you give him a good recommendation as his former boss?
Absolutely.
He's a good man. I mean, it's probably a tough day for you.
It is.
Well, we thank you popping on with us. We really do. Good luck with the search, Woody.
Thank you, guys.